There are a ton of collectibles that you have to get within the brand new Renegades expansion, most of which are within the different Lawless Frontier maps. These are all required for the Renegades title. So I'm going to go ahead and just combine everything into a single video here. We're going to go over how to get all 18 ghosts and all 14 tapes. And if you find this useful, please make sure to subscribe and share this video with a friend to help them get this awesome title. The setup itself is pretty simple to understand. There are 14 tapes. Some you got during the campaign or post-campaign quests, some are on Tharsis Junction, the new social space, and the rest are within the Lawless Frontier. The ghosts are a little bit more complicated. There are 18 ghosts, 3 for each of the locations in the Lawless Frontier, but there is only one ghost available at the time of each faction being active within each of the locations. So if you look at the top left of the map, that is going to be Selina Moriss on Venus. Whatever enemy type is currently in that location dictates which of the 3 ghosts is currently available, which means you are going to have to run this activity 3 times at this location, once while the Fallen are active, once while the Vex are active, and once while the Cabal are active. That being said, the tapes at each location can be gotten always. So it doesn't matter what enemy type is currently being fought at that specific location, all of the tapes at that location will always be there. So just to start off, you can go to the new social space, Tharsis Junction. There are 5 tapes here. However, 4 of them are part of the campaign and the post-campaign quests, so if you've done all of that, you don't have to worry about those. The final one for this location can be found right next to the ghost building. So the building where we're going to be placing all of the ghosts, right to the right of that, there's going to be an upper level with some chairs, and if you walk up to them, you will find your 5th tape. The next location we're going to talk about is the top location on Venus, Selina Moriss. We'll start off with tape number 6, and this can be found in a little cave right next to the Yoda's hut looking location. So stick around. I know this is kind of hard to tell where I am in the gameplay, but as I exit the cave, you'll see me look right at Yoda's hut. So you should be able to triangulate this area pretty easily. Next, we'll talk about the 3 ghosts in this location, but remember, which ghost spawns depends on what enemy type you are fighting. So starting with the Cabal, we'll start on this dome roof area by the Fallen Walker Cabal base. If you then run inside of the Cabal base and follow my exact path, you'll find the ghost tucked around the corner on the right on some equipment. Then we'll talk about the Fallen version of Selina Moriss. If you start on this same roof by that Fallen Walker Cabal base thing, but instead this time you go left through a series of tunnels, you'll find the next ghost tucked up on a tree in a very large cave. Then for the final version of Selina Moriss, we're going to load into the Vex version of this location. This one is super easy to find. It's just on top of the Yoda hut looking area. This one doesn't seem to glow as brightly as the other 2 on this location, but if you walk around where I do, you should get the prompt to pick it up. Next, let's head to the bottom location of Venus in Artesia, Mons. There are actually 2 tapes on this location. So I'm going to just give you a frame of reference. I'm going to start at the Ewok huts on the far side of the map. Just follow where I go. One of these tapes is underneath a tank. It's kind of caught in the treads. The second one is deep within a Cabal base. Then when you finally get there, you can find it tucked up on a ledge. So it's a little bit longer, but just watch where I go so you don't get lost. Then we can go ahead and move on to the ghosts, once again starting with the Cabal version of Artesia Mons. So whenever you load into the Cabal version of this activity, you actually go to the same room where we just picked up that second tape. If you look on the opposite side of the room, you will find the first ghost. Then we're going to go to the Fallen version of Artesia Mons for the second ghost, once again starting at the Ewok hut things. If you backtrack a little bit, you will find this giant land tank, and up on some pipes, you will find the second ghost for this area. Then the final one for the Vex version of this activity is actually just on the far side of the Ewok huts. So where we were already looking at for the different tapes and ghosts, you will find the final ghost for this area. Now let's go ahead and move on to the top location on Mars, Hellas Fortitude. There are once again 2 tapes on this map, so start off by looking at the giant Sarlacc pit in Spider's Barge and follow exactly where I do through this little tunnel down into a little grate. You will find the first tape. Then we're going to head back to the Sarlacc pit and you're going to jump inside of it. On one of the sides where I go, you'll actually find a cave, and deep inside this cave, you'll find the second tape. Now, once again, switching gears over to the ghosts, load into the Cabal version of Hellas Fortitude, and you're actually going to go into that exact same cave where we just got that second tape. However, once you get inside the cave, instead of moving all the way to the other side of the pillar, jump on top of the pillar and you will find the first ghost for this area. Moving on to the Fallen version of this activity, you're going to now go back to the Sarlacc pit and Spider's Barge, but instead of jumping into the Sarlacc pit, you're going to look underneath the barge and you will find a cave. The second ghost will be inside there. Now you're going to go ahead to the third and final version of this activity, where the Vex are the enemies that you fight. Once again, make your way over to the Sarlacc pit and barge area, but you're going to go to the exact opposite side from the barge. When you turn around, there will be this kind of like fallen city looking area. Make your way all the way through it, go underneath a little like ravine thing, and then when you get through it, turn around, look up, there will be a ledge with a chest, some pots, and the final ghost for Hellas Fortitude. Next, we're going to head to the bottom location on Mars, the Freehold Outskirts. There's only one tape on this location, and it's very easy to find. There's the main center, like fallen city overlooking like the tram station. This is going to be our anchoring point for all of the collectibles in this location. Right at the edge of the city, right on the ledge overlooking that tram area, there's a ledge with a couple of chairs, and the tape is going to be on this platform. Now we are going to fly into the Cabal version of this activity, once again starting in this big fallen city town area. Off to the left side of the screen, you will see me kind of climb up towards this little piece of building, like outcropping, this little tunnel, and the first ghost is going to be found in there. Then we are going to fly into the Fallen version of this activity, once again starting in this Fallen town. Follow that ledge all the way to the far right side of the arena. You'll see some kind of like Vex architecture or like spaceship junk kind of jutting out of the ground, and the second ghost will be found on one of these areas. And finally go into the Vex version of Freehold Outskirts, and then you're going to start in this same kind of Fallen town, but off to the right side there's this giant kind of dome arena, and on top of that dome you're going to find the third and final ghost for Freehold Outskirts. Next, let's go to the top location on Europa. This is called Adamant. There are also 2 tapes here. These are going to be tapes 12 and 13 for this video. For all 5 of the collectibles on this map, I'm going to start at the same anchor point, on this little dome building looking into the base where the exotic mission starts. For the first tape, you're going to take a left, hop on this vent that blows you to the upper level, and follow this long tunnel, and at the end of the tunnel on the left, you're going to find the first tape. Now you're going to go back to the dome building, and you're going to instead wrap all the way around to the other side of the map like I do, and kind of off the map on a little ledge, you're going to find the second tape for this map. Now load into the Cabal version of Adamant, and instead of running away, go inside the Cabal base here. Off to the left and up on a ledge, you're going to find the first ghost. Now go ahead and load into the Fallen version of this activity. Starting on that same dome roof, you're going to go to the back and the left, and there's going to be a kind of battlefield with a ton of Fallen walkers. On the biggest one, you are going to find the second ghost for Adamant. And then finally, you're going to go back to this roof on the Vex version of this activity. You're going to go off, back, and right down into this tucked away little tunnel and room. And behind some pots, you're going to find the last ghost for Adam. Now let's talk about the final area. This is going to be the bottom of Europa, Forging Matrix. Find yourself in the side of the map that has a bunch of small huts in a very wide open space. If you take a right, there will be a giant multi-level ice cave. Climb all the way up. Tucked around the corner, you will find the tape for this map. That is the 14th and final tape for this triumph. Now load into the Cabal version of Forging Matrix, find yourself the area of the map that has a bunch of red Cabal flags, and then follow along as I go off to the left through a bunch of the base. There will be some hanging Cabal corpses, and the ghost will be sitting right next to it. Then we will load into the Fallen version of Forging Matrix, go back to that wide open area with all the huts, and then return back to that multi-level ice cave. Near the top, there will be a little ledge tucked around the side, and that will be the second ghost for Forging Matrix. Then go into the Vex version of Forging Matrix, find yourself those red flags again, but instead of going to the left, you're going to go over the cliffs to the right, find yourself this little ice cave, and you will have your final ghost. When you have collected all of the ghosts in this video, return back to Tharsis Junction. There will be a little building where you can place all of the ghosts down. When you place all 18, you will get this triumph and the Desert Wear shader. I hope you guys found this video useful. Enjoy the Renegades title. Once again, if you did find it useful, please share it with your friends and make sure to subscribe for more Triumph and Endgame content. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I love your faces, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.